Okay, item 7, the Delta Leadership Program presentation. We get to hear about our inaugural graduates. We did have a reception earlier, right before the meeting, to celebrate a lot of hard work from our class participants. We'll get to hear a little bit about it from them themselves. And Eric, did you want to introduce this item?
Yeah, if I could, Madam Chair. Just, again, a brief reminder for the Commission. This was an inaugural effort. It's a joint effort of the Commission and the Delta Regional Foundation, which you might recall is the entity that has sponsored the Delta Forever Art Show. And we conducted 5 seminars across all counties of the Delta, beginning in January and concluding just last Friday. Each day-long seminar consisted of a focus on regional topics in the morning, and we talked about everything from water and agriculture and the economy, public safety, recreation. And then the afternoon was devoted to personal skills development, and we did ask the participants to develop a class project, and they spent some time working on those as well. We had participation from all Delta counties, rural and urban, primary zone, secondary zone, people who live in the Delta, people who work in the Delta, people who live and work in the Delta, people with community group involvement. All told, we had 22 participants. 2 of those participants are members of the Commission, Supervisor Wynn, Commissioner Wynn, and Commissioner Van Lobensells. And the staffing for the program was performed by 3 of us, myself working in tandem with Nicole Burt, our public information specialist, and our consultant Lisa Butler. And Lisa's here. There's Lisa. And we had a lot of fun working on this. I think the participants had a lot of fun. You're going to hear from them now. They're going to give brief reports on the class projects that they worked on. And I'm just really proud of the participation from these 22 men and women. They really put their heart into this. They really blew me away with their presentations on what they prepared for their class projects, and I hope you'll be similarly impressed. So with that, I will turn it over to the first of the presenters on the class project. Ronnie, it's all yours.
Ronnie, introduce yourself, and the floor is yours.
My name is Ronnie Gilkey, and I am one of the inaugural class 2016 of the leadership group. Okay, so our group decided to work on the ambassador program. Our task was to develop a rapid response communication approach for two-way communication in the Delta, utilizing key community members and trusted messengers called ambassadors. This was part of the DPC Vision 2030 strategic plan, if you all remember, and we were asked to find a more effective approach to reach the public and to identify who those people might be.
And Ronnie, if you can keep the microphone closer to you, then we can all hear
you.
Okay,
sure. Hearing weird noises. Our group has developed an ambassador program for communications and outreach. We're working to create everything to put together in action, including identifying the role of the ambassador, communication channels, and even protocols the DPC can follow in dealing with ambassadors. So you can see, this is a little quicker than I am. We can go to the next one now. So you can see we have some of the information that we put together in our plan that's here on the board, just a few of the pieces to the puzzle that we put together. We set up a matrix goal that really started us off pretty slowly. We have the group going on to just identifying 3 communities, and then maybe after we feel comfortable with 3 communities, we go to another 3 communities. And we'd really build up, and before you know it, we'd have a full communications plan. We accomplished our goals by setting up a book that you can follow for the protocols, and the binder includes the role of the ambassadors in the DPC, recruitment plan, orientation plan, gathering spots, conducting primary outreach. And this is our team.
Thank you, Ronnie.
My name is Anna Swenson, and this is Barbara Daly. And our project, I'm standing right in the way. Our project was I-5 signage or signage for the Delta. And our goals were to increase the number of customers, to provide economic vitality to the Delta businesses, to reduce the number of lost travelers in the Delta, and to eradicate visitors, to educate visitors about the...
Eradicate.
That's not the direction we wanted to go. Right now we're eradicating them.
We're eradicating.
Yeah, the hyacinth. Educate visitors about the importance and value of the Delta. So these are the current signs that we have, and what we noticed was that I-5 was not identified as a way in and out of the Delta from the 5 different access points. And so we thought it would be very important to bring that on. So the steps that we took, we actually drove, our first step was to drive around the Delta and to figure out what signs were there, and then what agencies we had to work with to collaborate with and get our signage up so that people know how to get in and out of the Delta. And then also the final step was how to work with Caltrans for creation of the signage, get past the regulations, and then installation of the signage. This is Caltrans regulations for signage. So we've been working with them to figure out how we could be in compliance and how we could best advertise the Delta. So we've identified 7 freeway exits: the Consumist Boulevard, the Hood Franklin Road, the Twin Cities, Walnut Grove and Thornton, Highway 12, Pocket Meadowview, because we want to bring people from the north, and then the intersection of Highway 12, Highway 160, and Highway 4 at the Rio Vista Bridge. Our next step are to work with Caltrans. Thank you to Supervisor Chuck Wynn for being our great facilitator in this part. We've identified the critical on and off ramps, exits and off ramps, and we would like to get signage at the top of those intersections, not only on I-5, so that people know which way to go once they get off the freeway. And we also want to, our final step is to get major signage at the intersections in the primary zone so that we reduce the number of people who get lost. Barbara did a great map, but if you don't have a map, it's nice to have a sign. We'd like to thank Dana Haynes Design of Sacramento and the Delta Protection Commission for this wonderful opportunity to make our dream of signage over the past couple years. And here's an example of our signage. There'll be a total of 3 for each stand. Oh. This one. Thank you. There we go. And there's our mock-up.
Yeah.
And this is the example of the size of the signage on I-5.
Very nice, ladies. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Megan Hurdle, and I work with Audubon, California, and I'm very pleased to represent the Delta Tourism class. Could I have my team members raise your hand really quick? This was truly a team project, and I'm not just trying to win favor since I have a commissioner on my team. But our goal for this project really was to tackle Delta tourism, to bring more people to the Delta, and to help people who live in the Delta know more about their region. So the first thing we did is we went to Google, and unfortunately, we found out that there is not a one-stop, easy place to find out information about where you should go in the Delta, what events are happening. One of the best tourism websites, visitcalifornia.com, only has 2 paragraphs on the Delta. And I think we can all agree that the Delta deserves much more than that. And so, as a team, we set up some goals. And our goal was to build the online presence of the Delta so that people would know where to go, when to go, and what to do once they get here. We decided to work through existing social media sites. So rather than create our own website, we decided to work with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We set a goal of 500 followers. We wanted to promote existing events like the Asparagus Festival, and of course we wanted to talk about sustainability. So how did we do? Or what did we do, actually? We created these beautiful websites. Just an informal poll, how many of you feel comfortable with Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook on the commission? 2, 3, 4, 5? So that's probably the same representation in our class project. We had to train ourselves how to use this. We created branding called Visit CA Delta on all the websites, and we created hashtags, which is Visit CA Delta and CA Delta Life. Although I think I have a new one that's Eradicate Visitors. No, not that one. Hashtags are really important because it's how you search for information on social media sites, and it allows the public to engage in conversations with you. So we created these sites, and our outcomes and conclusions are, we blew it away. So on Facebook alone, we had 600 followers. I'm really pleased to report that. People started using our hashtags, and so other people were helping promote our events. These are examples of our sites. Instagram had over 500, and Twitter is one that we struggled the most with 44. But overall, we reached more than 1,000 followers, which we're really pleased of in a short 5-month period. And as far as sustainability goes, we thought quite a bit about who could pick this up and carry it on after us. We thought about college internships. We thought about chambers of commerce. We even asked Nicole if she could do it in her spare time. But agencies have limitations on what they can put on social media. So ultimately, our recommendation is that this class continue it because it was an excellent learning experience for us. I now know more about the Delta than I ever did before from posting on here. And so overall, we wanted to thank the Commission and the Regional Foundation for this opportunity. And if Eric will allow you, and the chair will allow you, please pick up your phones and add Visit CA Delta. Thank you, Todd, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And when you post your pictures and experiences, please use our hashtags and help promote this beautiful region we live in. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. Very nice job.
Good afternoon. My name is Esperanza Vielma, and I'm from Stockton, California. And our team was in charge of coming up with solutions to some of our farm worker housing. And so my team members are here as well. And so basically, in terms of the farm worker housing situation that we currently have in our 5-county area is as far as like shelter and mobility, being the fact that our farm workers move from various counties to counties, and thus creating pollution and various problems with that. And in terms of trying to create and come up with a sustainable type of housing, we did research both on what's currently available and what needs to be available in order to curtail those problems. And in addition to that, we also want to create a model from the Delta that we can utilize throughout the state of California. And so what we found was that there was inadequate housing, and it's inhibited primarily by various legislative, local, and state agencies that don't allow for certain zoning in and near the farm areas. Some of the statistics that we came across through the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics is that California is one of the states that has the largest number of farm workers who are year-round. And so it's upward past the 300,000 mark of the farm workers throughout the United States. So therefore, we know that we would be able to tap into resources through the federal government in order to be able to address this problem. And so some of the situations, as you very well know, in the various counties, not just for farm workers, but for other folks as well, is the unaffordability and inadequate housing for the long-term farm workers. And so we have various research that we did as far as the funding sources that we can go to, and then what happens as far as the labor is concerned, that we have a shortage of labor, thus affecting the farmers in order to be able to pick their crops adequately, and then therefore our, in terms of our economic vitality being affected in the Delta regions due to the shortage of labor. So some of the solutions that we looked at were the potential solutions. There's a larger planning commission through Monterey County that they have for the farm workers there. However, we don't have that kind of situation as far as our land area use here. So therefore, there was other single family, and there was like more mobile family, smaller units, the tiny homes of California. So looking at various solutions, but again, making that sustainable. And so some of those solutions, like I said, we showed there, in terms of the Delta Protection Commission action, allow building in the primary zone for temporary permanent housing on or near the farm, moving the locations closer to the farm. And then this would also help with vandalism and theft of farm equipment as well. And if there are some additional resources that you all would like, we have that available. We will be moving forward with this project on a statewide level, and we will be going to the various federal level as well through HUD and what have you. And we have additional information for funding and fundraising that's going to be taking place in the future. So we will be taking this on, this project, and then trying to create this model with the state of California.
Thank you. All four of you are presenters, Ronnie, Anna, Megan, and Esperanza. You can take a deep breath now. That's behind you. Nicole, did you want to share a few thoughts? In the microphone. Where's the microphone? Follow the rules,
Just the
Nicole.
next steps. We did pass out course evaluations. This was our pilot project, and I know both Eric and Lisa know how much of this we kind of did by the seat of our pants. So we're getting feedback from the class, what worked, what didn't, what would they like to see more of, what less. We will be soliciting nominations for class number 2 in fall of 2016. So be watching our website. I'll be sending out mail. We will certainly do it with a lot more time, a lot more lead time, but we're already getting inquiries, which is terrific.
Right.
So,
And I did mention it at the Delta Plan Interagency, like the DPIC meeting. I had too many letters in there about the program, and got comments of interest there. So I need to network that with you, Nicole, to make sure I share that link.
it was very valuable. We had a very diverse class, and the sponsors, the reception from the community, the places that were made available to us, we met in every county. I just can't say enough about how the community stepped up to support this so that we can do it not only now and in the future. And the Delta Regional Foundation, the nonprofit partner of the Delta Protection Commission, was absolutely fantastic, and we'll be partnering with them in the future. So
Thank you,
It's
Nicole.
been-
I know that was a lot of work for you, too. So we have certificates from Senator Galgiani, Assemblymember Frazier, and Congressman Garamendi for our graduates. And not all the graduates are here, but some of them are. I'll come over there, actually, Nicole, if you want to put them on the corner of the table. Well, all the graduates, please come up over by Nicole, and I will meet you over there. And while I'm on my way there, Commissioner Wynn and Commissioner Van Lobensel's, did you want to make a comment about your experience in the class?
Well, let me say, let me offer this. When I first learned of the opportunity, I was very interested since I was just appointed to the commission. But I found it much more rewarding, fulfilling, and informative than I ever expected. And I think the part that I really appreciated most are my fellow classmates. I mean, they come from a whole different set of experiences and occupations and locations, et cetera. And so I would say probably from my experience, I probably learned in those 5 sessions, especially with the presenters, with Lisa's help and Eric and Nicole, I probably learned more in those 5 sessions than it would have taken me over a year, or probably 2 years, to accumulate just sitting on this board. So I want to say that I really thank the class. Thank you for your energy and enthusiasm, and certainly the information that I learned from your experiences. So I believe that by virtue of that, I have become a better commission member. So.
Yeah, I just think that it was an excellent program. I really like to thank Eric and Nicole and the whole DPC staff for putting this on, and I was really pleased to be nominated to be part of the class and to meet all of you and be a member of it. I really hope to actually be a part of it moving forward, and I hope to see this continue for a long time. I think it's a great program, so thank you.
Well, thank you both. Again, the commitment that the students made into the program was extensive. It was a lot. It was a day a month for 5 months, right? and then the projects, and that's time away from family and work and other important priorities in their lives. So it really was a commitment to the program, so thank you all for that.